Hi everyone, good morning. This is Ida. I have been working, you guys, as usual. I created a Santa baby TN, you guys. Look at how pretty it is. I kept it really simple. And I like to stitch on my TNs, you guys, but sometimes my sewing machine doesn't like it. So it gave me a little bit of trouble, but I did stitch it. And I'm going to show you that really what I put here is so simple. This is a tassel that I bought, and it actually came like in a pack of 6. And it's silver, gold, blacks, and whites, but they all have the gold cap on them. And I kind of like the combination of the silver and gold. But it was really long, so I cut it shorter. I thought it was too long. And then on the cord right here, all I did was put a charm from the embellishment boxes that when I hosted the Christmas in July, someone had gifted me this little charm. And I don't remember who, because my daughter kind of had gone through the boxes by the time I looked. So I don't know whose box this came out of. But so did this little stocking. I believe this little stocking came from Miss Jamie Snurch from her box, but I'm not sure. So anyway, that's all I put here. I kept it really simple, and I didn't really do anything to the back. There's the back of the notebook. And I realized, you guys, as I was making this, that I really didn't have any embellishments for myself to use to decorate. And I really have to sit back and just come up with some things, because I didn't have paper clips. And even though I got this one for the embellishment box swap, but because it's got the red here, it really doesn't match with the Santa baby paper. Even though it does have some darker color in the paper, it's not a bright red, so it really, you know, kind of clashes. So I didn't have any paper clips, nothing like that. But anyway, this didn't come from a die. I kind of designed it myself. And I did give it a 1-inch spine. And I scored it, you know, on the spine on either side of the 1 inch. And then in the center, you guys. Because when I pick up something and it's square, my hand doesn't conform to it because it's so straight. But when you have the score line down the middle, the TN kind of conforms to your hand because of the way it's curved. So I think for me, as far as comfort goes, this is real comfortable. Now this is called this is a B6 Slim, which the inserts are 7 inches by 4 1/4. But I cut mine a little bit shorter than 4 1/4. I actually kept them at 4. Because of my paper, the Santa baby paper, I was so limited in the papers that I could use. And I'm supposed to be making Happy Mail with the Santa baby paper. And if I use it on TNs, then I'm not going to have it for my Happy Mail I want to make. So anyway, I'm like you guys. I only bought one pad, and that's all I have. The one pad. I have the one 12 by 12 and maybe a 6 by 6. And I have to make that go, you know, work for all my Happy Mail that I'm working on, or a good part of it. So I didn't want to really dip into it too much, but I did use several pages. And what I did on this one, you guys, I put a pocket right here. You guys see the snap here flap? You unsnap this, and there is actually a pocket in the front, so I could stick anything that I want here in the front. Like a shopping list or coupons, if I'm taking this to, you know, what I do with my TNs that I was gifted. One stays at home and I write notes in it, and the other one I take with me to the craft store if I'm going to buy something, or if I want to gift somebody some Happy Mail. I kind of pay attention when they're commenting on my channel and see what their likes are or what they really, really like, and I write their name down and what they really, really like. So when I go to do Happy Mail for that person, I already know what they like, because I can't remember everything, so I have to write it down. So anyway, but when I was looking at the TNs, I thought I want to create something different. I want to make a TN, but I want it to be different. But again, like I said, my sewing machine did have trouble stitching on this. And And the reason I created this, guys, because this is what you're going to see in my Faithful Friday. But this is a little bit more improved. The other ones were the first ones I created. And like all things, when we start creating more, we, you know, get better ideas on how to make it work. But I really like the pocket here, you guys. And I just used my tab punch board to cut these little indents so you would know that this is a pocket. And then, of course, here's my button machine that I bought with the plastic snaps. And all you do is snap it shut, you guys. And I kind of did a pocket similar to this when I did, when I was in Tamika Swap, the treat bag. And I wanted to add other die cuts. Well, I made a little pouch like this to add extra embellishments. So if whoever received my bags wanted to embellish a little bit more, then they had things that coordinated. And I kind of just put a ring through it and made it like a keychain. That's what I did. But I love that, the idea of that pocket. So I incorporated it here. And then when you open it up, you guys, this is a side, just a tuck spot right here in the shape of a cup. And this was my daughter's idea. She said, why don't we make a mug? And I said, that would be perfect because there's chocolate mugs in this paper line. And I had this mint green sheet of paper. So she just cut it out of there for me, guys. And the gold that you see here, that's the Glitterific, you guys. I did the same on the front. See there? I don't know if you guys can see that. It's the Glitterific. I just kind of took my finger and rubbed it, you know, here and there. And I did the same in the cup. And then this is a vellum piece from the ephemera. And that's also a sticker from the ephemera. And here's just one of those cut aparts that I just tucked in there. This is the first book that I created. And my daughter kind of put this Santa in here because I wanted it a little bit more embellished. And she's the one just learning. So I told her, you decorate it, I'll make the book. So she thought that Santa was holding like a dog leash or some type of leash instead of garland to decorate a tree. So she put the reindeer like Santa was holding the leash to the reindeer. And I started to laugh because I told her, do you know what he's holding? She says, no. I said, it's garland. He's decorating a tree. I said, you should have put a tree here. She said, I thought it was a leash. So I put the little deer there. And then she added a sequence to the tip right here and one right here to the center of the globe paper. And this one is just for notes, you guys. And I didn't put pockets or anything in here. And I actually bought this file off of Etsy because I didn't want to have to run to the store every time I made a TN. So all I did was kind of print it out and cut it out. And it is printed on both sides. So you get the note on all sides. And I put 15 sheets, double-sided sheets, you guys. So there's plenty of room for notes. And I have that long arm stapler that you can staple, you know, in the center of books. So I use that to staple it. And there's the back. And I actually did a boo-boo here, you guys. I cut this little bit too short, but I wasn't going to waste it. So I went ahead and added it to the book. And then here's the back of the book. And right here, you guys, I made a little envelope. And I used a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And I didn't want to cut anything off. I just kind of wanted to tuck it in. But this is as wide as I could get it with just a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And I made these little pockets here again. And you can, you know, just to save different things in here. So that's all this is a folder, you guys. And I like the way this came out. I just wish that the paper were bigger or wider so I could have made it the full, you know, like the books. And here's the back side to that folder. I think it's really pretty. And right here, you guys, my daughter cut out with the Brother Scan & Cut. She cut out this glitter bow. And then she added one of those, the crystals from the Santa Baby paper line to the center of this one and kept it very simple, but the bow is really pretty. And then this one is actually, again, a file that I bought on Etsy, and it's the brain dump one, and it says category and ideas. So same thing, it has 15 pages in here, and I stapled it down the center. And here's the back of it. Now I didn't round the corners on these because on my Faithful Friday ones that I did, those are coming up this Friday. I did round the corners, but I kind of like these better. I think these look more store-bought when the corners are not rounded. And I made this laminated dashboard, you guys, and it's not a shaker and it's not open. The only thing you can do is put sticky notes on here, or you can use one of those pockets that people get at Target, that y'all get at Target. And if you want an extra pocket here, but I didn't do anything. I just left it strictly for, you know, where you could paste your notes and stuff like that. And when you open it up, here's some notes. And all I had was regular Post-it notes, guys. I didn't have any Christmas, nothing. And here's the dashboard that I made, you guys. And what I did was I did leave like an 1/8 of an inch gap in the center, because it's gonna, when you wrap it around a notebook, it kind of doesn't want to sit right. But if you leave it that 1/8 of an inch gusset or space in the middle, it'll conform to that book just fine. So I did it this way, you guys. And right here, I do play with leather, you guys. So I do have grommets and rivets and all that stuff. So I added this little pen loop right here. Same the paper, and all I did was laminate it. And then I used the grommet that I used for my leather work. And there's the back of the grommet. So this pen is not on one of those clips that might or might not fall off on one of these. I didn't want to put it on one of these little binder clips, because sometimes they do tend to slide off because of the slippery that this laminating sheets are. So I knew that if I put a grommet on here, you guys, this is there to stay. It's not going anywhere, and you're not going to lose your pen anywhere. And this pen was actually a gift from my friend Nisha. I just kind of put it in there so you could see it. But there's the belt loop, you got the pen loop. And there's the back to that. Now on this side, I did add a pocket right here, you guys. So I added one of these corner pockets. And so you can slide something in here. And then I also made this. I used one of my slots that you use for debit to put in gift cards. So I had the 3 slots, different slots for gift card holders, and I just used it there before I laminated the paper. And after I laminated, I just used my blade and cut a slit right down the middle, and this will hold, you know, whether I put tags or whatever I decide to put in there, this would hold them. So that's what I did here. And I really like the way that is. And of course, the back pocket also works. I would like to have one more book in here, but the only other book that I bought the pattern for is for my Faithful Friday. And of course, that's for prayer. But I really like it. On this, all I added was a simple snowflake. So when I put it on, I put the cord around it. The snowflake will drape here. And here's the back. I kept it really simple, you guys. But this is that the piece that the pocket in the front is covering. And the only thing I don't like that because of where the face is on the paper, and there was really no way to cut it because I wanted this piece, that when I put the cord elastic around it, it does go across Santa's face. But, you know, other than that, I really don't have any complaints. I think it's very, very pretty. Let me put this back on so you guys can see. And even if this, I don't know how long these will last, you guys, these snaps. But even if the snap were to come off, the pocket would still not open because of the elastic going around it. But I haven't seen anybody create one like this, you guys. So I wanted, you know, I always try to do something different. And I believe this one is different. So I hope you guys like what I created. And I realize now that I did this that, you know, I didn't really have any Christmassy dangles in the colors that will go with this. I didn't have any paper clips done. And even though I've made some embellishments, I didn't make any paper clips. I made tags, but they're very dimensional. And when we make the books for these, you know, you try and keep them a little bit simple because, you know, you don't want them to be too bulky. But I wanted a little something, you know. I didn't want it to be so plain. So that's why I asked my daughter to add that and this one on here. But at the end, all in all, guys, I'm really happy with the way I created, the way this TN came out. And now I have to work on some paper clips, you guys, and maybe some tags to put in here because I do want to have something to put in there. But, and I see you guys create a lot of nice charms and paper clips. And I really don't do that. But I'm going to have to learn, you guys. Because if I make these for her to put in her shop, and then I don't have any accessories to go with it, that kind of defeats the purpose. And I did cut out a leather bow, thinking I would use a leather bow or something right here. But I really didn't like the way it looked. To me, a lot of times, guys, less is more. So I decided not to put it on there. And like I said, I love the pen loop because I know that I'm never going to lose my pen. The binder clip is not going to slip off or anything. I'm not going to lose my pen because it's wrapped around another notebook with the dashboard. So I hope this gives you ideas, you guys. And it wasn't hard at all. I will explain to you a little bit on how I did it. I cut my piece of paper the length that I needed, and then I cut a little strip that I knew was going to fold over. Now there's only so much real estate that you can use on a laminating sheet, so I think the wraparound paper, I cut it at 10 inches, and this little strip right here was at 1 inch. And whatever side you want to show, you're going to put that upside down, because when you flip it over, and I did cut it, you guys, because when you cut it and you score it, after you laminate it, it works a lot better versus if you would put a whole sheet of paper and then score it, and then after you laminate it, try to fold it. It really doesn't work. You do have to leave space in between the long sheet and the little short piece, just a little bit, just like, I mean, a little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe not even. But you do have to leave a little gap right here, you guys. So when you score it, it folds over beautifully and it stays nice and creased. So that is one tip I can give you. And again, my sewing machine didn't really like doing this, but, you know, it's okay. I'm satisfied with it. After I had done that, I just scored it and folded this over, so I knew that my front was right here. And when I open this, you can see that it's the pattern paper. This is what's inside the pocket. So I knew the length of my pocket. I knew how wide I wanted it to be, and before I laminated. And one thing to remember, you guys, and you can tell here I forgot, I didn't round the corners to my paper. I did on the outside on the laminating sheet, but it looks really nice when you do it on the paper as well on the inside, but it still looks good. But that's one thing I do tend to forget, to round everything and make sure everything's the way it needs to be before I laminate. And by the time I realized that I had already laminated the paper, and I'm not gonna waste. So after I had laminated, you guys, I knew where I wanted to put this little cup. And I wanted to stitch it because I don't know if tape or anything like that really works on here. And I wanted something to be permanent. So I kind of just used paper clips, you guys, to hold these in place. And I just ran a stitch from the top of this pocket right here, or this tuck in, all the way down and stitched it. Now I knew once I did that, this would stay put. And so all I did was, I didn't close this and stitch it, you guys. I have it open. You can see the stitch line right there, because I knew that when you would close this, that stitch line was not going to show on the outside. And then I cut my pocket to the size I needed it. I did my tabs. I laminated everything I needed to do. And then I put it in place, and I added paper clips here and on the bottom to keep it secure in place. And then all I did was stitch from right here. Make sure the stitch that you put here, make sure you start right behind that, and I stitched down across right here on the pocket and back up. So there's my pocket intact, and then all I had to do was add the snaps. And by stitching down here and around, you guys, when I stitched down here, it caught the bottom of right here. So now nothing's going to fall through because it's stitched. It's not going to fall through there. So that's how I did that. And on this, I didn't do anything. All I did was laminate it. And after I had laminated, I added the little grommet to hold the pin. Let me put these here. And that's all I did. Now, if you wanted to write notes to yourself, you could put them here. You could put them on the front of this right here. But I thought this paper was so pretty that I didn't want to do anything. Now, I could add one of those plastic pockets here. And I still might. But for right now, I'm kind of liking the way this looks. But of course, this, you can put another notebook in right in here, you guys. That's the purpose of this. And of course, then this will wrap around the notebook. On the back here, I did the same thing, guys. I paper clipped my pocket where I wanted it, and I stitched from the top of my pocket. And actually, I went a little bit, quite a bit higher, because I couldn't see where to start, where I needed to start. But anyway, start from the top of your pocket and sew all the way down and across the bottom. That way, this pocket, nothing will fall through this pocket either, because it's stitched on the bottom, so nothing will fall. See, because it's already stitched there. But I really like the way this came out, you guys. I hope that you like it. And I just wanted to share this with you guys, because I knew that I hadn't done anything other than the tea that I showed you the other day. And it's not that I haven't done anything, it's that the projects I was working on are for Faithful Friday. So you'll be seeing that in a couple of days. Thanks for watching, you guys. I hope everyone has a great day. I hope that this inspires you, and just take the plunge, guys. Get creative. And if you mess up, oh well, it's only paper. If you mess up, you mess up. It doesn't matter. Bye.